everybody, and welcome to another new year. So we have the minutes from December 8th of 2021. Were there any edits, corrections, modifications, anything we need to address? Hearing none, can we get a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept.
John on the motion,
Second.
Norris on the second. Comments? Hearing none, ayes? Ayes?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Abstentions? Okay, we'll move that forward. We pass. Okay. Is there anything from the ASC?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, very good. Let me, you know where I like to go here on the education, that we have nothing on there that I see. I know we'll have some additions, but we'll get to that toward the back portion of what we have here. So we then next on the agenda, new business, Nicholas Gardner seeking equivalent education for Appraisal Institute course, Advanced Land Valuation, Sound Solutions to Perplexing Problems, 7 hours CE. Okay. Linda, any comments or anything we should
No,
be
you
aware
guys,
of?
you should have received a copy of what he sent me in your package to review.
Right. Okay, which we've seen. Are there any comments or questions or concerns from members of the commission?
I don't have any issue with it.
Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion to approve or disapprove, whatever, put a motion on the floor?
I make a motion to approve. I'll second it.
Okay, Norris has the motion. Okay, John has the second. Comments from the commission members, questions? Hearing none, I'm calling it to a vote. Ayes for approval for Mr. Nicholas Gardner for equivalent education, advanced valuation, sound solutions, perplexing problems.
Aye.
Ayes. Okay. I haven't heard from Linda or Shauna. Maybe they're raising hands. You'll have to help me here because I'm just calling in.
You hear me?
Are they okay? Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, can you hear me? It's Linda.
All right. Yes, now I can. Yes, you're okay, both of you on this one?
Yep.
Okay, good. It passes. Okay, great. So for Nicholas Gardner, that passes for 7 hours CE. Then we have Aaron O'Connell seeking equivalent education for IAAOO course 101, Fundamentals of Real Property Appraisal, 18 hours of CE. Questions from the commission members or concerns or applause? Hearing none, does anyone want to make a motion for Ms. O'Connell's application here?
John, is it good for 18 hours?
Yeah, I think so. This is an appraisal course.
Okay, that's what I
Okay.
thought when I looked at it, so.
Yeah, it is. It's IAAO,
Shauna?
not IAAO. On here, like it says IOOO on the agenda.
Mhm.
Okay, okay.
AAO.
Do you want to make the motion, Shauna?
And I know her, so I don't really want to make that motion.
Okay. Does anyone want to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Norris
second
makes
it.
the motion. We have a second from Linda.
Yep.
Questions, concerns? Hearing none, we'll call roll call vote. Ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? We pass for Ms. O'Connell for 18 hours of continuing education on the 101 course. Okay. Now we move in, excuse me, as I have to move my mask around because of the rules here. Old business from, we have Kurt Burknick, RCG applicant and sample review. Is
Jerry,
Kurt here?
one correction, he's actually a certified residential applicant, correct, Kurt?
Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
it's an
So it should
RCR.
say, on our agenda should be, maybe I have a wrong version, RCR. Okay.
No, I think I
Thank you
typed
for
it
the
wrong.
correction. All right, if that's our only issue, we're having a great day.
Yeah.
Okay, so, right. Okay, any questions? Is Mr. Bergneck, how do I pronounce your last name? I don't want to mispronounce it. I apologize.
Yeah, no,
Could
don't worry
we
about it.
unmute him?
Yep, it's Boutnick.
Bachnick, okay.
Yep.
Thank you, and I apologize.
No, don't worry about it.
Bachnick, welcome. And
Thank you.
commission members, are there any questions that you would like to ask Mr. Bachnick on what we have here?
First time here, Linda?
Yes, it's his first time here. You guys picked the samples
Okay.
last meeting.
So has samples been reviewed?
I have a couple questions on his work.
Fair enough. Shauna, the floor is yours.
Right, this is 366 Westland Avenue. There's Carol.
Okay, one of my earliest ones, yes.
Wasn't sure where you got Q3 for that property. So can you explain to me the difference of Q3 and Q4 and the difference of what Qs are and Cs are?
Qs are the quality of the actual material that's in the house. Condition is it updated or dated? Do we have blue bathrooms, pink bathrooms, stuff like that?
How did you get to Q3 on this property?
The quality of the material used in the bathroom with the tile floor, the hardwood floors are really nice oak floors, good quality. You have stainless steel in the kitchens. You have granite as opposed to laminate countertops.
Okay. I noticed your comp 1 is outside the guidelines. I didn't see any write-up of why.
One, go to that.
28% bigger.
Gee, 2006. Comp 1. I would have to say that was probably the next largest available piece of property compared to the subject. There might not have been anything that was smaller than 1352 on the square footage. Yeah, my third one is 1242. Yeah, so that's probably what I did there. I try to keep it.
But you don't
close
have
to the
any, you
tail
didn't
end.
bracket any. You don't have a smaller comp.
Probably wasn't one. 1,050 square feet is a pretty small house.
You write that in the report somewhere?
See what I did here. Doesn't look like I did unless it's in my. No, I don't see that I put it in the addendum. Nor did I put it down below. In the
You didn't really
recommendation.
give a lot of commentary on this report at all. And
Yeah, I mean-
communication is very important to, you have to pretend like somebody doesn't even know what this form is and explain what you're doing.
Yeah, I understand that, and this was one of my earliest reports when I was super green. And I would say that my descriptions are a hell of a lot better now. I fully understand that.
I'm going to ask a question jumping in. When was this report done, Shauna?
This one was done August 2016.
2016. Okay, thank you.
Yep, this was with my first supervisor at the very, very
Is your
beginning.
supervisor here?
Yeah, I do believe Joanne is on.
Morning.
So
Good morning.
did you review this report?
I wasn't the supervisor of this report.
Did you change supervisors?
Yeah, I did. Bill, after a couple of months, decided to change his business model and really scale down and simplify his company. And that's why there's a large gap between my work logs. A couple of years later, I met up with Joanne and started back into this in earnest.
Joanne, this is Jerry Rasmussen. A quick question for you. When did Kirk come? When did you start being his supervisor, and you're currently his supervisor today?
Yes, I am. And I believe it was 2020.
How do I get out of this screen here? How do I minimize this?
So you've been his supervisor for two years, plus or minus?
Yes, I have.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, commission members with other, Shauna, you made other questions. I'm sorry.
Just a couple more. And I don't know how you came to the adjustment on the land on 3. Again, there's just no write-up on that.
Shona, which report are you looking at now?
Looking at 366 Westland.
Okay.
In Cheshire.
Yep. Okay.
And that was in August of 2016, Shauna?
Yeah.
Okay.
You write in your comments that central air conditioning is an adjustment of 2,500, and on comp 2 you use 5,000.
Can I make a comment?
Please do.
Yes. So Kurt only did a few jobs with this gentleman. I'm not familiar with him. And upon coming on board, you know, he's new. He didn't know anything. Through our process, I have come up with training materials. I review every single report with them. They get copies of corrected reports. Through the wind total program, there are bubbles. And I put all these red bubbles on him and I make him think about different things. He has been doing this with me for, 2 years or so. He has come a long way. I have seen one of his reports before, but I will have to say, if you don't have a sponsor who is going to take the time and review these reports, they really don't know what is wrong and what is right or their mistakes. They have to be reviewed fully. Since coming on board, I think you need to take a look at the reports that he does now because they're very descriptive. I have coming up with addendums that are 5 pages long that I've provided to everybody to look at every scenario and every adjustment that is in that report that they need to comment on.
This is John Galvin. I'm looking at the one here in, what's the address of this one? 1211 Quinnipiac Avenue.
Yeah.
And that's far vastly different and superior product than the first one. So I can see the level of detail.
And that was a complex, complex job. That one was not easy. There was a lot of stuff that was just wackadoo with that place.
All right, tell me about the wackadoo and how you handle it.
All right, well, first of all, it appeared like it was a single family house that was converted into a 2-family. It was correct that way. When we did the inspection, there was considerable amount of lower level finished off that wasn't on the field card. Evidently, the owner had a home business that he was running out of there for 30 years. So it had a bathroom, it had a kitchen down there. And then once the owner sort of went into semi-retirement, he took over the 2nd floor of the 1st and 2nd floor apartment by adding another kitchen onto that floor. And you could just tell by walking through the property that walls had been constructed and things had been kind of reworked a little bit. And it really didn't match up much with the town field card. So we had a lot to get over on that. We had to get the stove out of the basement. We had to get the stove out of the 2nd floor removed. I think that it worked perfectly for the gentleman who owned it. as he got older and his life changed, but from an appraisal standpoint, it was not a standard two-family house. So there was a lot of work that needed to be done on that one to make it correct as far as an appraisal standpoint.
Wait a minute, now let's back up a second. When you say a lot of work to be done. So
Well,
slow down and explain yourself. So you mean
okay.
a lot of work. The property is the property. You're not changing the property. You're the
Correct.
So you mean
Correct,
a lot
but
of
it
work.
wasn't like walking into a standard, this has been a two-family house forever. Nothing has ever been changed in its lifetime. Like
So
I said,
show me on the appraisal where you handled something like that. Just one thing. Is there?
Let's see here. Let's go into the.
Or it's in the addendum.
Yeah, I know. I'm scrolling down to that addendum part here, right in the improvements area where we sort of summarize what we saw during our walkthrough. And of course, you know, the agent isn't happy either. Not that that's any of our concern, but on the appraisal side, we need to make sure that what is on the town field card is represented in the appraisal, and explain it as best as we can as far as what we find during our inspection.
Okay, so just help me out in the improvement section, which is
in the supplemental addendum, page 13, John.
Thank you.
Yep. There's just a lot of stuff to list. I mean, even right down to the furnaces, and what furnaces are heating which units. We mentioned the stove in the lower level.
The appraisal was completed subject to them
Right.
converting it back to a two-family with proper permits and approvals.
Okay, did you make any extraordinary assumptions in here regarding that?
We did not.
No, I don't think we did. No. No, on the bottom of page 5 there, when we're reconciling the values, it's not as is, it's subject for conversion to a two-family and or conversion back to a three-family, proper permits and codes.
So that is stated in the report.
Correct.
Again, I'm blind right where I'm sitting right now. So
Yes.
that is what it says there. Okay.
Yep, and the reconciliation there on the bottom, and then also in the supplemental addendum in the improvements description.
Yeah, it says Jerry, it says subject to approval for conversion to two-family and or conversion back to a three-family with proper permits and approvals accordance to code. Removal of stove and basement. So the subject to approval for conversion to a two-family and or conversion to a three-family. So which comps did you end up using, two-family or three-family?
We used both 3 and 2. And then on the 1-3 family, the 2-3 families, we made adjustments of $10,000 over a 2-family.
I believe somewhere in the report, though, we did put based on the changes, the appraiser has the right to change his or her value depending on what they ended up doing. I don't think this particular one ever moved forward because I don't believe we ever got a final on it.
Okay, the only suggestion I have is this thing near the water? It looks like a house near the water. Looks nice.
It's at the very beginning of Quinnipiac Avenue in New Haven, where all those big houses are before you get down by the river.
I'm just going to make a suggestion that you go back and review USPAP on using extraordinary assumptions, hypothetical conditions, because in a situation like this, I would have used an extraordinary assumption just to protect yourself that, hey, flag the reader that it's a little bit more. I'm sure you were in communication with them and talking to them, and consequently the scope of your work changed. So I would have communicated, you might want to in the future communicate it a little bit more clear in your scope of work, and then review extraordinary assumptions to determine if you really needed to use one or not.
Okay,
All right,
scope of work, extraordinary assumptions.
I'm done. I have no more questions.
Still, I have a
Are
couple.
there,
I have quite a few.
okay. Well, we're going to limit this to about another 3 or 4 minutes, so go ahead, Shauna.
The first one, the only other comment, the last comment I have on the first one was that there was equal weight contributed to all the comparables when these were not really very comparable. We can move on to another report. I did review 23 Harbor Ave in Madison.
And what year was that, Shauna?
2021.
Okay.
So on here, your land, how did you come up with only the adjustment? Because you say the land is worth $400,000 a site value, and you give very little to the land adjustment. And this has a potential another lot. There's no comments anywhere about, is there a lot? Can they subdivide it? Nothing. While this report might have a little more explanation than the first one, I still think this is very weak.
As far as another lot being subdivided out, I'm not educated on local codes and what can or can't be done. In my real estate side, every town is so different. And when my clients ask me this question, I really try to defer to other attorneys that are in this field who know the local codes. I don't speculate whether or not a subdivision can or cannot be possible. I think that's really
Ask the zoning enforcer. Did you go to zoning in the town?
No, I did not. No.
Excuse me, for this particular job was a drive-by. We had limited view of the property. It's a drive-by, we can go on site.
Clearly
Yeah.
see on the map. You can, if you drive by, and you did drive by, obviously you took a photo.
We didn't get a clear view of the property, though.
There should be some comments. Somebody should have reviewed that. And then to come up with your land adjustment, the land's very expensive. It's near the water.
They do say though, Shauna, I'm in line with where Shauna's going here right now, but it does say underneath revision 226, which is on page 14. It says the subject has frontage on, how do you say that, Chittendale Lane?
Yep.
And is considered a conforming lot. So they make the assumption that it's a conforming lot. It appears that the subject can be accessed from both blah, blah, blah. Based on aerial photos, it appears there is a parking driveway, and it goes on, and it says inspection during a snowstorm where there was limited visibility of improvements. It should be known the appraiser is not a licensed surveyor or zoning official. If the lender feels the need, a licensed professional should be consulted.
I really have a problem with the land adjustment on this one, which leads me to your cost approach. Where did you come up with $275 a square foot?
Oh, mistake. It does seem a little high.
Well, it may be that high because it's in that location.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Just gonna say that.
Building is
because of
building,
the
I mean,
Location, it has to be higher because there's different codes for building, and the cost of materials right now are through the roof.
Where did you get that number from?
It's in the cost approach comment.
I understand. I'm asking, where did the 275 come from?
Those are from local builders.
Older that says it's $275 or something.
Yes,
like that.
I actually have somebody that I go to who is my person to get some costs of materials.
Now, the last comment I have is you have in the cost approach, it says remaining life 80 years and estimated life 65 years.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Cost approach, you say that remaining as economic life estimate to be 80. And then you
100.
have that is 65.
Oh, it's probably just an error, a typo.
Yeah, you have 100 economic life and 80 for physical.
Yeah, it's probably just a typo.
I see that.
I personally really think these reports are not very good. I only looked at the two of them. I don't really see enough for them to go through, so.
Are there
I
any other question, members?
hear.
Are there any other questions from other members of the commission?
Jerry, can I make a
Hearing
suggestion?
none.
Can I make a suggestion before we take a vote?
Please.
It's
We're not-
obvious.
Go ahead.
It's very obvious that they've come a long way. He's come a long way from the beginning appraisals to now. It's very obvious that this is not an easy assignment, and then it's a little detailed than it was a drive-by. It was limited. I agree with Sean. I was pointing out, I think there's some typos here, which lead me to believe, remember, there's the appraisal, Joanne, there's also, this is Joanne too, there's the appraisal process, which it sounds like you guys understand, but then there's the communicating, and this seems to be coming up every month. And the communicating is what we're looking at to see if you're communicating. And Shauna pointed out that you have an economic life longer than the physical life of the asset. You can't have an asset that can keep producing if it's not, you know.
I understand that, but
And-
you know, we try to be perfect, but we can't be perfect. There are some times that, you know, I'm human. I may miss something.
No, it's okay. I do commend you on using the local costs from a local contractor. That's the old school way of doing it, where they would go out and survey. And believe it or not, at the beginning of the year, a lot of people used to do that back in the 70s and 80s. But the fact that the site value is the way it is, that you just mentioned that, and then the thing that gets me is your comments about zoning. We are not zoning officials, but zoning is something that we should be checking, because zoning has a lot to do with highest to best use. And
Right.
your previous appraisal, you mentioned the one that was a 2-family, 3-family, you clearly understood that zoning and the assessor's records are tied together, and they only allowed 2 units versus the 3 units, etc. So my suggestion is that we do with this one like we've done with others, that maybe they take this one back and reconsider, you know, something. Shauna, maybe you can help me out here, and just tighten this one up a little bit. Anybody else?
Can I make
Can you hear me? Yes, go
now
ahead,
we can
Joanne.
hear you.
You know, this is just my feeling. I have brought probably 10 provisionals under me, and they've all been quitting because of this process. And I have to say that out of all of them, Kurt has worked so hard and is probably one of my best appraisers right now, as far as learning and being educated and wanting to get to the next level. And he's where he needs to be to move forward. So, you know, I'm just suggesting if you could please consider to let him move forward. And, you know, as he gets more experience, he's going to learn. You know, he's only been doing this for 2.5 years. And yes, maybe I have missed things because, you know, I'm human. But I am, you know, I review each and every one of his reports, as well as the other 2 provisionals. I have a lot on my plate. And you know, we're at a shortage right now with appraisers. And I am one of those appraisers that I'm trying to bring people under my wing and get them in this field, because it's very lucrative and it could put a roof over your head. So I'm just, you know, he's been through a lot. It's been long. And I'm just hoping that you will consider to let him move forward to take the test and be certified.
Okay.
Did you
Thank you, Joey.
review this, any of these?
Excuse
Any
me?
chance? The SEPSO.
Oh, I just looked at them quickly. And noticed that, there were a couple of things that are not clearly explained. But I think here's my problem with this. I would call this report, forgive me for the terminology, but I would call this report, it just hasn't had, it seems like it's had the attention paid to it that needed to be done. There's adjustments for things that they don't seem to line up on why you would adjust something like this. I mean, there's huge differences in sizes for the basements. There's the differences between 3 and 4 bedrooms, which is
I did see that. I
realistic,
just figured
but
I
they're
didn't
not
want to go down.
adjusted. If the subject in comp 3 have 4 bedrooms and 1 and 2 have 3 bedrooms, and there's nothing that's lining up to make me think that you were doing anything but rushing through this report. And I know that's probably not true, but it came across that way. So I just don't think you're there yet. And I mean, if you want me to take a couple of these appraisals that we have, and I will work through them and tell you what I see that seems to be holding you back and give you more information. I have no problem with doing that.
Linda, this is Jerry here, and everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
That's-
Okay. Do you want to play Mother Linda again here, Mother Teresa?
Could be my
And,
last time.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking now. And get on the phone here with Kurt and Joan, and suggestions, whatever. And then if we put this on the agenda for next month, and then for a final vote,
Okay.
will that work with commission members? Other
I think
commission
we need
members?
to, I'm gonna make a motion that he comes back in 2 months and gives us 2 samples of new work that we can.
Donna,
Do
you
we have-
broke up
do
at
we-
the end.
2 months, and he provides 2 new samples of current work so we can review it. And then,
Okay, there's
to
a
work with
motion on
Linda,
the
that would
floor.
be fine, but that's my
Is
motion.
there a
I'll second that.
all right, we have a motion, a second by Norris. Comments, questions, concerns?
My only suggestion is, first of all, Joan, I think you're doing a great job. I commend you for taking, is she still on? Where is she?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, for taking on the provisionals. But you got to understand that even though we have a shortage, once he's certified and takes that test, he can go off and do it. And our job is to protect the consumer. So
I
don't take it
understand.
personally, and it has to do with him conveying his ability as opposed not just having the ability. So
No,
my suggestion is in those samples that he try to do a cost approach in one of them. And I would explain a little bit more on zoning so that we know you can go look at zoning regulations, look at a residential zone, look to see if the side yard, the front yard, the coverage, everything is compliant. And if there's excess land or not, or surplus land or not, and actually just comment on it. So we understand, the difference, and then you can do that. That's my only comment. Thank you, Jerry.
Okay. Any other thoughts, folks? Hearing none, then I'll call this to a vote. Ayes on the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Linda and Shauna, maybe you're raising your hand. I can't hear or.
Said aye.
So, okay, and Linda?
Linda,
I agree.
Okay, then that's, the motion has passed. So we will see you folks or hear from you folks in 2 months. And Linda, you will reach out to them
Yes.
before, and we thank you again very much, because I know each meeting is one more that we get that we weren't going to get. So thanks, Linda.
Linda, can you just get his information and send it to
I'll
me?
email it to you, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. All right, and then I'll
Okay.
talk with both of you and go over these and see if we can give you some more pointers and clarify things.
Yeah, Kurt, don't get discouraged. You're doing a great job. It's just.
Yeah,
little bit-
look, any kind of criticism from your peers can be tough. And this has been a long road for me, because I'm learning a whole new industry. Even how to write stuff is totally different than when I write stuff as a broker. There are no gleaming hardwood floors. So it's been a long process. It's been tough, but I appreciate your criticism. And whatever it takes to get this done, I want to get it done, and I want to participate in this great industry. So,
Thank you.
I was hoping for an
Good.
upvote today,
Good,
but it didn't happen, and we move on to the
We'll-
next. Okay, thanks, John.
We'll get you there. We'll get
Thank you
there.
very much. I appreciate those words, Chair.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Moving to our, take care. Moving to our next moment on the, noted on the agenda, Christina Laporte, RCR applicant sample review.
Jerry, she has, this was tabled from last month, and she has requested to have it extended to next month. She still was not up to coming before the board.
Okay, well, then please note, and we will put that on the next month's meeting. All right. Robert Andrews, RCG applicant sample review, tabled until February of 2022. And please, therefore, we will move that one to the next meeting as well on the agenda. Okay, monthly report of complaints received by DCP. That's the number 4 on the old business agenda. And Linda, the floor is yours to give an overview.
All right, I know Terry Jo sent you all a copy and of what's going on. So I went through everything that related to appraisal that I had, and there was 16 currently open, and I broke it down for you as to the nature of the complaint and where we, so I don't know if any of you have reviewed it. If you have any questions for me.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for putting it together. Is my first thing, and I'm going to
Thank
jump in.
Vicki for the help in formatting it for me.
Thank you, Vicki, and all involved here. I see that we have under C, we have one fraud complaint. Is that in current investigation, or I know you can't tell us too much. I just want to know where that fraud complaint is in the process.
Right, it's, alleged fraud, obviously. Right,
Okay.
I am waiting to hear back from the lender on a couple of issues, and, we'll go from there.
Okay, so this was a lender, I would suspect, who made
No,
the
this
formal complaint.
was, no, it wasn't a lender, actually. It was an appraisal company.
Okay, all right. So I don't want to ask too much because we got to make sure the process, but it is in the process. So
Yeah.
I'm picking that one out because, so you would suspect when, by February, that you will have more, this will be moving down the line, either it goes
will
to be
be,
more of a
and-
formal or, and, okay.
Right, and based on the issues involved, I'm not sure if it will ever come before you or if it will be referred to a different agency instead.
Okay, all right then. We'll look forward next month for an update on number C, or I will, just as an example. Other commission members, questions?
It could.
Yes.
Go
I
ahead.
did. Linda, this is great. I think it's fabulous. The only question I have is under number 4, where it says letters of caution. Do you think that we should review those type of things? Because I don't know what letters of caution.
Letters of
You want to
caution.
explain that a little better for me?
Yeah, letters of caution are not considered disciplinary. They're just basically saying, you did this or this wrong, and this is, you need to review USPAP to know that you're not allowed to do this. And, if it goes forward, it's nothing that's so egregious that it needs to go before a compliance meeting or a commission meeting, you know, we close it with nothing. We do a letter of caution, and/or I do an educational session, which I feel is the most helpful, because if they're doing something wrong, you need to explain to them why it's wrong, almost like the review appraisals that you guys are doing of the provisionals type deal of what they need to improve on. And, you know, to avoid, you know, the letter of caution is usually something where they forgot to explain the zoning better type deal, something like that. Or the educational sessions are usually, if I get something from Fannie Mae or a lender saying they didn't bracket, they didn't do, you know, their sales are outside of 6 months old, and they didn't put an explanation. It's like, you have to explain everything.
Okay.
So, and I know you've been doing this for a long time and you're going to be retiring soon. And who knows who will take these on later. I think that, you know, somebody from the commission should review some of this. I don't know who's determining that, you and Vicky, just you? I mean, instead of
Yeah, I
just
mean,
having
it's
one
never, I
person.
mean, this is, you know, this is how it's been since I started. It's what I was told when I started, that we make the determination and you only saw what was needed to go to a hearing, or if it was something that I could not do, I would ask someone to step down when there was a full board. So this is how it's always been, that the department is, because what happens is when somebody files a complaint, the department becomes the complainant. That person is no longer the complainant. We take over and we do the investigation and we make the decision whether it goes of how.
When you say
egregious
we
it is.
though, is it just you, or is it Vicky and you, or is it there somebody else?
If it's something really basic that I can do, I'll do. If not, I will discuss it with Vicky. I will discuss it with a supervisor. Well, I have a new supervisor now, Pam, who is on the meeting today. So Richard has retired. So yeah, I mean, everything, because they would review anything before it can go off my desk and like go to legal to Vicky for a compliance meeting or anything. They review it before it goes there.
I don't know how the other commission members feel, but I would think that those type of things, somebody from the commission should be reviewing too, just to get for another feedback. I mean, especially with you
Well,
leaving, I don't know who's going to be next.
I
So
think that the issue here though is, I mean, and hopefully you guys are going to get some more people on the board, because the easiest way then to do that is, if somebody's learning this process, is to have one of the commission members step down and do it. And both times I've been on the board, I've done that kind of thing where we step back and go through it as if we're, you know, taking the place of Linda at that point in time. But we can't get every detail on everything, because the whole thing is that before we decide that anything's going to go to a hearing or anything like that, we have to be totally unbiased. We can't be thinking about this thing for 6 months and what should we do, because then you're not unbiased anymore, and that's more important than you know, having somebody take a little bit longer to understand the process or whatever. But I mean, it's worked out before where if Linda's is retired, then it's the company itself that has to come back and bring in somebody new who knows what they're doing. And not that this stuff is easy, but most of the stuff that we handle is pretty simple. It's not crazy things. I mean, we had a few of them, Linda, especially in the previous time, Jerry, when you were on at the very beginning, and we had that guy who was had fake licenses for being everything under the sun, including an appraiser and an insurance agent and everything else. And we were chasing him all around. I mean, he'd still show up in town halls with appraisal folders in his hands after we had taken everything away from him. So, you know, it gets a little crazy. But I have just a question under number 4, Linda, because I don't understand this. Number 4, the thing where it says, I guess it's a 1, no violations found, further action warranted. If there were no violations found, why is?
It should say no further action.
Oh, okay,
That's a typo, sorry.
okay, that just confused me. And I get
Let
confused
me-
easily these days.
All right, let me dovetail where, picking up Shauna's point, which I think goes under the legal, the next point on the agenda. I know I'm jumping ahead to go back for it, so okay, so bear with me a minute.
Jerry,
This
before
is
you move forward, this is like the first time I've ever seen anything like this in the years that I've been on this.
The first
So-
time I've done it, because you have never
Yeah, I
asked
think
for
it's
anything
great.
before.
And I think it's, I know, and I think I trust Linda that she's gonna go through this stuff. And I recommend that maybe Norris and I get together and put a bill through that nobody with named Linda can retire. But the, can you just really quickly just run down, because I gotta teach the law module, and I know this always comes up, and so the improper license or credential, number one, when it says BPO broker, that means there was a broker who did an appraisal, is that right?
I had a complaint and it was, like I said, can't go into like. it's
No,
still
don't
under
tell me what happened,
investigation.
that's what the
no,
category,
you
Yeah.
can't.
yeah.
Yeah,
Don't tell
basically,
me.
yeah, somebody complained that somebody did a BPO for an non-permitted reason.
All right, so the other one was an unlicensed person. And then the value 10, what does that mean when it says seller realtor? That means
That's who filed the complaint, either the seller or the seller's realtor filed the complaint. They were unhappy. Basically a deal has fallen through.
but they don't specifically say anything.
They,
John,
sometimes they,
she can't say, yeah,
Okay.
let me
Right.
jump in, John. She can't say anything
Move on.
more.
No, I'm just
Okay,
trying to
you
get the
can't-
category.
you-
I'm just trying to get the categories
Yeah.
down, Jerry, not the specifics. So, and then I understand the use PAP. So the use PAP violations there, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from Fannie Mae, AMC, or the lender.
Right, those are the ones who usually will give me a use PAP violation. People who are unhappy with their value are usually the seller or a homeowner who's trying to refinance
All right,
because a deal has fallen apart usually.
Right.
okay. All right, I got
All
it.
right, let me jump back here where Shauna was. I'm not jumping ahead, but it does dovetail into maybe coming to a solution, which Shauna is heading down to. And I'm not putting words in your mouth, Shauna, but I think I know where you're going here. We need an update to the commission, the status of new appointments. Because if we get new appointments and we get a full board, then that gives us an avenue to have someone of the commission members step down and be, and I'm going to use the word to help a Linda or whoever follows Linda as the grand jury. We used to have that years ago, and it seemed to work very well. But then when our numbers shrunk, we couldn't go down that path. So I think that will answer questions, but is Vicky on, or Linda, can you tell us? I know 3, 4, 5, 6 names have been forwarded to the governor's office for possible folks to be on the commission. Is there any update on that?
Hi, this is Vicky. I don't have any update on that, but it was my understanding that the deputy commissioner had reached out to ask for suggestions and that there were some names that were forwarded. The email that was sent to us was that there was a meeting that was going to take place that week, so that action or activity, will be forthcoming. I will follow up to see where the deputy commissioner is on that. I don't know if Terry Jo has gotten anything different, but usually when she gets something, she will, send it to us,
Right.
but I don't have anything else. And I will say, just to I just want to say, put your mind at ease, a couple things. I think that once we do have a full complement of board members, that will be much easier to have someone step down to assist if assistance is needed. And the other thing that I just wanted to say, and I'm not certain that everybody remembers, is when Commissioner Harris had come to indicate that there had been a memorandum of understanding with the boards, I had specifically asked that the appraisal commission not have to sign that memorandum of understanding, only because of the federal oversight that the department has. So as a result, we don't have that same, I'll say, pressure, if you
Right.
will. But the statute has been updated, and I can give that to Terry Jo to send out to everybody. Chapter 416, which indicates or set forth what the provisions or the parameters of each of the boards. And of course, the appraisal commission is under the list of the boards that are under the department's jurisdiction or purview. 21A6 outlines the commissions that are under the department. 21A7 indicates what each board or commission can do, and that the commissioner has a little bit more say than was previous. And again, Terry Jo, I will give this to Terry Jo to send out in a few minutes. It's not a problem. And the other thing that's in there that's interesting is the fact that if a board member misses 3 consecutive meetings, or depending on when the meetings are held, then that's considered to have deemed that person has resigned. The other thing is 21A8 asks that the department, meaning us, DCP, we are to distribute quarterly a list to the chair of the status of the cases. So that's the quarterly requirement. And that's because the other commissions only meet quarterly. But I had asked that we continue to be able to meet monthly, because that was important for us to have, I'll say, a full complement for the ASC, knowing that they like to see everything that's going on. And I think we have a better handle on things if we have a monthly review. The other thing is that the statute 21A8 does require closed cases to be, provided to the commission on a monthly basis, dismissals, if you will. That's what they term as dismissal. So, that will happen. That's not a problem. And any other thing, I think the other things we have followed, which is 21A9, that says that if there are any statutes or any regulations, that of course that comments should come from the board. And I think the board has been very proactive in that the board generally will have a written statement or something of that nature. So what I'm going to do is send this to Terry Jo so she can distribute it to the board members. But that's really I'll just say an overview of where we are. I don't think that there's any intent to not do what's asked or what's set forth in the statute. I think we're trying to do the best we can with what we have. The position for Linda, if you will, although she cannot be replaced, has been, posted, if you will. I'm not sure where they are in the process. I'm not a part of that process, but I did see that there was a posting. Efforts are being made, if you will, to have someone come in and more so sooner than later to get this process started. But again, it has to be somebody who has some expertise and some experience with appraisal, or it's going to be a disservice to us. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to say at this time, except that it wouldn't be feasible to have people step down at this time, but we do intend to utilize that process, and the statute absolutely encourages that if need be, for things regarding expertise or whatever. So that's pretty much it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you very much, and I'm gonna thank you first of all for this report, Vicki and Linda. I'm very pleased that we have this as a base to move forward. I'm picking up from Shauna's thought again here, and I'm going to ask Vicki, with the new changes, with the law and the modifications that you'll be have sent to us, is there anything that would preclude, following Shauna's suggestion, of a commission member stepping down to be part of, I'm going to use my words only, like the grand jury, to be part of that process as well? Is there anything that would preclude that?
No, there's nothing that
from
precludes
any of
that,
them?
no.
Fair enough. With all the changes, Lord knows, that's why I want to go with that. Shauna, I didn't mean to step in on there. Anything you want to add or clarify or, what have you?
She's still on.
Shauna there? Shauna, you there?
No, it looks like we lost her, Chairperson Rasmussen. I'm sure she'll be dialing back
Okay.
in. I'll be looking for her, but she seemed to have hung up.
Okay.
I hope not in
John?
discuss or disagreement.
No, sometimes Shauna, where Shauna is, sometimes it gets a little bit
Yeah.
weird with the service. That's all.
Okay.
It's happened before.
All right.
Okay, so
Norris,
I'm sending
John,
this
Linda?
to, Terry
any
Jo,
of-
I'm sending this to you now at this time, so you can distribute that.
My
And
only
Norris,
thing,
John, Linda, go ahead. Go ahead, John, go ahead.
my only thing is it, since the, the residential stuff versus the commercial stuff is if we had a, can we break it down? So say, let's just say I was handling commercial stuff and Linda Sepso was handling residential stuff. Can Linda then still vote on the commercial stuff and I vote on residential stuff, or are we both recused from mini vote now?
When you,
It
when you
used to be.
step down,
Go ahead, Linda. Yeah.
You're only stepping down on
Correct.
that case, right?
Correct. You're just stepping down on that case and you can't, vote on that particular matter. That does not preclude you from voting or taking part in any other matter. Correct. That's correct. Yeah.
So if one of us steps down, how many, I know we went over this last month, how many left do we need to have a vote for quorum? Is it still 3 or is it 4?
Okay. What I think, isn't a quorum the majority? It has to be a majority.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not a, not a
yeah.
set number. Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess the last question I had has nothing to do with this, Jerry, but maybe we can go on it afterwards, is for Linda's replacement, which is, I don't know how they're gonna do it, but is there anybody involved in that process who understands appraisals that can interview that person to determine, to find somebody who can provide the services that Linda's provided over the years or close to it? Or is it just?
This is a perfect time for me to introduce myself. This is Pamela Brown. I am the Director of Investigations. I just inherited the real estate group from Richard Harbert. So we will have, that's a DCP role, the hiring of Linda's successor. We will bring them in. The goal is to bring them in much before she retires, and we'll get good training, not only in with the world of appraisals and everything that she does, but also within other systems that we need to have done as part of our investigations division. So the postings have gone out. So Linda will be on the panel. She's just finding this out now. I like to take those who are SMEs and have them participate in the hiring process. So we are handling that, and hopefully we'll have a new person soon.
Great. And welcome. And
Thank you.
thank you for attending our meeting.
Thank you. I've been around for 22 years, but this is my first time attending your meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Well, is there anything, since you have the floor, that you would like to say to the commission?
No, I just thank you for welcoming me today. I will attend as much as I possibly can. And I hope to get to know all of you and at some point meet you in person.
Wonderful. Well,
Thank
welcome.
you.
Well, I know you've been around, so but thank you for participating with us today. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
That's great. That is great. I'm sorry, Linda Sepso, Norris, anything you want to ask in here on this?
No, I just think,
topic?
are you there?
Yes.
Gary, I just want to say this has been really, really informative. Vicki, Linda, and Pamela, thank you. You've explained everything. And like I said, I remember the old days where a commission member, remember I sat next to Chris every meeting and Mr. Buckley every meeting. I remember the old days. We had 8 people and one person would go up. That was fine. It wasn't a big to me, it wasn't a big deal. So I don't feel, in a way, when we get back to the majority level, the level that we need, everything will go back to normal.
Yeah.
So we only have 5 people. So, Linda's done great work. Let's keep it this way. Let's not overdo this. Let's not micromanage this. It's been going good. So let's just keep it to normal until we get the 8 people back.
Okay. Linda Sepso, anything more, or we'll move on?
No, I think that's fine. I mean, I'm planning on leaving whenever they have some other people here. And I've told you before, and I talked to somebody sent me an email or something about, did I want to hand in my resignation right now? And my response was, not until you fill the slots.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
A little more handicapped than we already are. And that doesn't seem fair to me at all.
Yeah.
So it's not, I mean,
Well, thank you for staying on, Linda. Thank you.
I know how hard it is. I remember what it was like when we first started here back 20 something years ago. And it, sometimes it's a little tougher than others to get things through, but I'm glad to see that they're willing to put more people on, and that we'll be going back to doing the things that we did when we were first on the board many years ago.
Yep, looking forward to it. Thank you. Is Shauna back on?
Yep.
I'm here, power failure at the town hall.
Oh.
Okay. Shauna, I don't know how much you heard, how much you missed, but it appears that what you're looking for and what have you, we're going to head down that road once we get where we are with the new commission members and so forth. So I think where you were going.
Yeah, what happened with the update on the new appointments? Are there some coming?
Vicky gave us a quick overview that everything was sent over to the governor's office. I know they met last week and we're waiting to hear. We haven't heard anything yet. So at least we know it was hot, and moving forward. And there was a meeting, I think it was last Thursday, to be candid with you, might've been Friday. But when we hear, I would think, this is just me speaking, that I think we will have new members in February 2022, and which is next month. I hope I'm right, and I hope I'm not looking through rose-colored glasses. But when there was this doggone urgency that we had to have names in, and we watched that timeline shrink from the end of the week to the end of the day on a Wednesday or Tuesday, whatever it was, we were able to do that. And and I know that there's been 4 or 5, 6 names submitted, so we'll see what comes of it here. And I know they have their formulas they have to deal with, and Lord knows how that goes, but I really hope that next month we have a good number of new people. Either they're already being sworn in on that one, or we know they're coming in March. So that's where I think where it sits. Okay.
I think this was made a priority. I think that was, evident, based on the communication, if you will, with the deputy commissioner. So,
yes, it seemed to be a high degree of urgency, Vicky. All of a sudden, it became, as you say, priority. It was moving. So that's all good. Which goes into, Vicky, you kind of covered it. Maybe you didn't. Want to make sure we don't shortchange you. But under legal, there was a second clarification on the process of the commission members to step down and assist with the review of incoming complaints. I think you covered it
yeah,
really
I have no
succinctly.
further comment. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good. Is there anything else in legal you got to bring before us that we should be aware of?
No.
Okay.
Well,
good.
I shouldn't say there's nothing. I shouldn't say there's nothing. I think it's going to be covered, or maybe Linda's going to cover it, but I'll just say it because it's on my mind. For the upcoming, continuing education audit and the coursework, we are making a call for topic suggestions by January 31st. And that's for any topic that you think should be included or excluded, because we want to start to take that underway, if you will. Jackie, I know you're on the phone. We are going to include you in our meetings in terms of getting some, I'll say, insight and input from someone on the outside, so to speak, so we can try to tailor this and make it, each time a little bit better than the last time. We hope to have a meeting sometime in February to get this process underway. So we're asking that all of the board members, public, whomever, provide some suggestions by January 31st as to what should be included or excluded for the upcoming continuing education course that we will be developing. And it's going to take some time, so we know, we're going to try and meet periodically, maybe like once a month at least, to get this underway and get things done by June so that it can go on the July docket. I'm looking at it from a legal perspective because Linda and I usually work very closely together. But again, we're interested in taking some, new input, if you will, and insight on that matter. Thank you.
Very, very good. Very good.
Commissioner
All right.
Rasmussen,
Yes.
we
yes.
have Jackie Bouchane with her hand raised, just to give you a heads up on that. I know you're on the phone, so you can't see.
Yeah. We can let her talk next week. Okay. No, just let her, let her ask the question. Go ahead.
Happy New
Jack.
Year. Happy New Year, everybody. I know I've talked to many of you already since the new year. Quick question. Who should those comments be sent to, Vicky?
Linda, we're going to have them go to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
Right. And
Yeah.
and CC Terry Joe, because she's our official record keeper. So Terry Joe and Linda. Yeah.
very good.
And they'll forward it to me. Yep, no problem. Yep.
And is it okay if I reach out to the current instructors that we have
Oh,
teaching for the
absolutely.
chapter and ask
Absolutely.
them to give their input on it as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
they can, either give it to you or they can send it directly to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I know that there's been some discussion, that it needs to be updated because the folks that taking it every 2 cycles and it's a long 4 hours, and maybe I don't know what the regs state or what you
It's
folks
going
have
back to
do.
3, I believe.
Okay.
Linda. I believe
It has
it's
to be
going
at least 3 per the statute.
right.
Right.
It's
I
going
know
to
that
be
there had
back.
been
Yeah.
discussion, and I know
Mhm.
that, the majority of the instructors feel that, it could be covered in 3 hours. We really start to lose folks, especially, I've been doing it on Zoom for several years now, 2 cycles. And even before that, we've had some, virtual to go to meetings, and you really start to lose the folks when it gets longer. Okay,
No,
great.
I think we had indicated that we would we tried that to see about adding that in, but now that we have, this new provision that may happen, with having the provisional doing the virtual type of thing, we're going to go back to, I believe we're going to go back to the 3. I'm almost certain, like 90% certain that we are going back to the 3 hours. We do welcome the comments from the public, and again, they can come through you or they can be sent directly to Linda.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah,
much. I know
thank
that
you so much.
in past discussions from our current instructors and students that they really think that it could go back to 3. A lot of them have been around appraising for many years, and when it got changed to 4, they were a little uncertain about it. And I think with the USPAP updates and all that a lot of the USPAP items, other than the issues that you folks see coming through the commission on a regular basis that there are issues with, can be addressed, but several of the other items are covered under the USPAP course. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yep, thank you so much. I appreciate your input.
Is that, oh, wait.
Great. Thank you, Jack. Okay. Comments and concerns. Wasn't there an additional class that would want to be on? Did I see an email yesterday on that, Linda?
Yes. The schools and courses, there is none right now on the agenda. Most of McKissick's, I just was able to take a quick look. I was not able to update them into the system. McKissick's all look
Okay.
like they have AQB approval. Unfortunately, it appears that the Appraisal Institute sent several courses through, and once again, they sent them through wrong. So it's going to take some time to straighten them out again. But there is one course that the Connecticut chapter of the Appraisal Institute has asked if we could add to the agenda so they can start advertising it to offer it next week or next month. And it's a 2-hour course. It's entitled New Perspectives on the U.S. and Connecticut Economies Heading into 2022. And I know.
Okay, Linda, stop for a second.
Yeah.
For a second. Let's get a motion to get that on the agenda. Can I get a motion by someone to put this 2-hour seminar for today's agenda? Can I get a motion for that?
I make a motion that we can put it on.
Okay, John, you got the motion. Norris, you okay with the second?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. Discussion? Okay, we'll vote to put this on the motion, this 2-hour economic seminar. Can you get the full title here, Linda? So we have this correct here?
Yeah, it's called New Perspectives on the US and Connecticut Economies Heading into 2022.
Good. Okay. For those, vote affirmative ayes.
Aye.
Nays. Abstentions. Okay, it's on the agenda. Let's go. All right, now we can move forward. Okay, Linda, the floor is again yours. Give more description.
Right. Jackie did send it to Linda Sepso for review, so I know Linda did take a look at it. Linda, you're on mute.
Okay, great. Linda? Linda
She's-
Sepso?
Yeah, she's on mute.
Okay,
Oh, there you go.
Linda, you're okay? Linda Sepso, any
yeah.
thoughts, comments, concerns?
No, I thought it looked fine. It's a 2-hour class. The material seemed, there wasn't a lot of material, but I think it's going to be fine.
Okay. Where will this be held and when, or is that to be determined? Do we know?
It's being held in February. Jackie, is it via Zoom?
Yeah, it's going to be
Could we,
February 23rd via Zoom. So we'll get the licenses, we'll have the visual of all the students.
Okay. Any questions? Keep Jackie, please, mic on, so to speak. Are there any commission members with questions for Linda Sepso, Jackie, concerning this seminar? Hearing none.
Sorry,
Go
Jerry,
ahead.
there will be a PowerPoint of approximately 45 slides. The presenter is updating that information right now, but there will be a PowerPoint that I will forward to Linda at the state to have on record.
Okay. Hearing no other questions, can I is there a motion to be put on the floor for this seminar?
I'll make the motion.
Norris has made the motion. Can I hear a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
All right. I think John just beat you to it, Linda, and just by a fraction.
Give it to Linda.
Comment.
That's fine.
All right, then we'll put Linda. Then are there any questions? Anything more on this? All right, call it the vote. Ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Okay, we pass. So for 2 hours on the February 23rd for the 2-hour Zoom economic presentation. Great. Is there any other new courses or anything, Linda,
No.
that we need to do? Okay. Are there any other comments or concerns from other commission members that we need to address this morning? Are there any concerns or additions or any matters before us from the public for the commission members to take in consideration?
Commissioner Rasmussen, we have Jackie Boucher
Yes.
with her hand up again. Jackie, if you'd like to
Yes.
mute at this time. Thank you, Commissioner.
Linda, could you please reach out to me today or tomorrow regarding the submissions from the national office? I have a project team coming up with the national staff, and I would like to know what the problems are so that I can address it, because there have been multiple, it's not just Connecticut that there's issues with. So I really would like to have a handle on that so I can present that and try to help resolve it. Thank you. I appreciate, thank you.
Great. That's good to work together on these things. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for everyone. I hope this is a challenging time with this doggone COVID thing. I thought I was done climbing into hazmat suits and putting on Scott Air packs and walking through hospitals, but yesterday and today will be another one. That's just part of the protocol. So everyone be safe, number one. Number two, Linda and Vicky, thank you so very much for this appraisal summary report on the complaints and so forth, and giving us a handle on where things are and so forth, and a great base that I would like to see us use this format that we have here on a monthly basis. So just incorporate as part of what we're doing here going forward it would be absolutely wonderful. And at least then we can proceed. And golly, I'm hoping my words are getting up to God's ears here, that we have either a swearing in not swearing at, but swearing in of new commission members next month. That would be wonderful. And Pam, it was a pleasure meeting you. If there's nothing else for anyone else here, be safe. And can we have a motion to call this meeting to an adjournment?
I make the
I'll make a
motion.
motion to close the meeting.
Okay. And Norris, I'll put you in the second slot, okay, on that one?
Thank you.
All right. Ayes?
Aye.
Nays? All right, nays. Hey, be well. And I can tell you the Yeager Airport in Charleston, West Virginia has still just me in the terminal. So